Thank you very much for showing your film here, and welcome to the Film Festival Cottbus 2020. And hello to Jan Kwiecinski, the producer of I Never Cry. Thank you very much for your time and this intense but also unexpectedly funny film, I have to say at times.
Thank you so much. I think that's part of the reason why I was driven to the movie, because like it's tragic comedy in a way. In this, there is this very dark irony, Polish irony in it, and that's what I love in this movie, and that's what I also love in Piotr Domalewski's style of directing.
Yeah, that was also my first question. That what was the inspiration behind that film, and how did you get on board of this project?
I met Piotr a couple of years ago, and while he was making his short movies, and I knew that I wanted to work with this director in the future. While he was making his super awarded Silent Night, I wanted to work with him on that, but I was already involved in other project, and we promised each other that we'll make another movie together. So while he was finishing Silent Night, we met and we decided, okay, what to do next. And slowly, Piotr was feeling that, he felt that like Silent Night is this kind of beginning of conversation with the audience about his homeland and his backstory, and the world he's coming from, and the problem of the world he's coming from. And that's where the immigration idea started, that majority of the town Piotr is coming from emigrated somewhere else, and he really wanted to talk about this very big Eastern European problem.
And can you tell us a little bit more about that situation of economic migration from Poland to, is it Ireland? It's whole Europe, right?
It's whole Europe, of course, but like it's, especially poorer European countries are involved in this problem. And, that's tearing apart a lot of families all across Europe. And especially in Poland, there are like regions in Poland where you've got, majority of people who emigrated somewhere else to find a better, world, to find jobs, who are sending money to Poland constantly. And the situation which is supposed to at the beginning to last for a couple of months is sometimes lasting years and years, and people and families are living apart. And that's something we are not talking about a lot, because that's kind of this like dirty, ugly problem in a way. But it's really affecting the psychology of families, the mentality of people, and I think it's really important for us to talk about it.
Mm-hmm. And you also you pitched that project also at Connecting Cottbus,
Yes,
the co-production market here. And can you tell us a little bit about the production of this film, the different steps that you have to take in order to get the Polish-Irish co-production?
I think that the beginning of our journey started in Connecting Cottbus, and I think our first meeting with White was in there, and then in Karlovy Vary. It was very difficult. White, I mean, our sales agent. If it comes to the production, it was a very difficult project because we were shooting it in Ireland, and Ireland is one of the most expensive co-production partners in Europe. And we didn't have once we find a co-producer, we didn't have a place for any mistake, because each mistakes in Ireland cost you a couple of days of shooting in Poland. So I found Julie and Julie from MK1 Productions, Julie Ryan, and we got along great together, and we felt the similar love to this movie. And slowly we started to think how many days we can shoot in Ireland. Finally it was around 10 days there and around 20 in Poland, and around 15 in Poland. So what was important for us is we found it's funny that like in a way the suburbs of Ireland looks exactly as the suburbs of smaller town in Poland. So we wanted to create this feeling that like she's moving to other country, but she's not moving to the better, more beautiful place. She's actually moving to the same idea of the space, but in different country. And so her father, it applies that her father was actually, he didn't live in this, fairy promised land. He had to create the life of his own in the equally, equally uncomfortable place. So we felt it's a nice idea. That's the way we wanted to shoot it. For a second in a movie, you don't feel, oh my God, Ireland and Poland, the change is drastic, you know. And because there's ideas of promised land also, we felt that we have to break down the legend of it, and this feeling that, you know, once you leave Poland, you are moving to something better. No, it's sometimes you're earning more money, but it doesn't mean that the place are much better. Actually, when we are showing the world of her father, he lives in barracks. He lives in situation where he's focusing on keep existing another day, earning money, and then this vision of her father is humanizing his persona in a way, because she had this thing in her head that she was thinking that, oh my God, he's living this great world there and he left us, and it's not the truth.
Yeah, and it's almost like the way he lives is difficult to find in Eastern Europe, such a place, you know, as poor as he lives in Ireland.
Yeah, I think it's equally bad, the situation where, you know, it's good when you are thinking about living there for a couple of months, but people are living years in these conditions. So there is something, you know, wrong in this idea. I wouldn't say wrong. There is something, you know, she's seeing the conflict of her father, that like he was earning money to be a provider, but that has consequences that made him live in these conditions, and maybe that made him feel that, you know, that made him open for the new relationship as well, because he felt, you know, I want to have something from this life as well, etc., besides many other, you know, depth of his character.
And one more time about the production, that except from the money perspective, what were the biggest differences in shooting in Ireland and Poland?
I don't think there are any. I think, you know, they've got a very disciplined crew. We were very disciplined. There is, you know, you know, if you are achieving some quality of people, of crew, of cast, it's all the same all around the world. Sometimes you just have more money in some places, but like the quality of the crew is usually very high. What was difficult for us for the production was, you know, the casting process, you know, the feeling that you know, we had 1,500 girls to cast, and that was difficult. To find perfect Ola for us. That was achievement.
And how did you find Ola?
We had online casting, and then we were making selection until we get to Ola. And, you know, it was funny because she got to the casting and she was thinking that it's a casting for a romantic comedy, and she got there and she was like very angry and patient, and Piotr suggested her that maybe, you know, it's for the character, it would be better if she take off these clothes, because she had high heels, and he's saying, you know, it's not very this character to have high heels. And she's like, no, I think it is this character, okay, so I will keep the shoes. And then we straight realized, oh, that's a tough character. So I think that gave us this Ola's cool feeling, that like that's something Ola would say.
Right. And so what are you doing in these times? I mean, it looks like you are quite busy, you know, when the rest of the world is under they can't go out, and you seem to be quite busy at the moment in the times.
We just finished shooting this TV series actually with Piotr Domalewski as well, for Netflix. It's called Sexify. It's about 3 young women who tries to create an app to make orgasm more effective. And so we are shooting that. It's a comedy, and we will release it on April on Netflix. all around the world, and we're super excited about that. But that's, you know, takes majority of my time, because basically we're editing right now and have to really push the post-production going. So thankfully I've got things to do at this moment, but it's you know, it's making everybody's lives more difficult because of the COVID situation, of that we had to wrap the shooting for 3 months and, you know, start it again, etc. But we managed and we're here, so, you know, we're lucky that we finished.
That's very nice. So then, thank you again very much. And
thank you, and thanks so much for you. Thank you so much, and thank for the audience, because, you know, we are so excited to having a possibility to show this movie that, you know, we're very grateful that you find time to see it.
Thank you, and I hope to see you soon again in Cottbus.
I'm keeping my fingers crossed to get there next year.